I'll be ready. Oh, yeah, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, yeah, it's me, it's your boy, the Louisiana Country Boy, coming at you live along with my co-host, the Little Diva. Oh, you know what time it is. Y'all see, I'm fancy because I'm ready for you tonight. You know what time it is because my co-host got, boy, she done came up with one of them old conversations. So I had to get prepared. I got me a glaze. I got my hat. I got my glasses on. And I got my earmuffs just in case I don't want to hear nothing. So y'all know what time it is. It's Monday. It's Monday. So it's time. It's time for the real conversation with a twist of humor, along with me, the Louisiana Country Boy, and my number one co-host, the Little Diva. It's time, y'all. It's time. Welcome one, welcome all. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hello, Little Diva.
Well, hello, the Louisiana Country Boy.
I know.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You good? You know, when I forget when I have somewhere to go, like when we go out and use our equipment somewhere, I always forget on Monday because you finish doing it, you're tired, so you don't undo anything. I was around here looking for my That's what I was doing. I was getting my ring light, and I was like, because I had it sitting in a different place.
Gotcha.
And that's that's right. I did something this
weekend. You got to put the stuff back. When you look, did your mama and them tell you when you was little? Now you got to put that stuff back where it go. That way, when you're looking for it, to be where it was at.
I knew where it was. I wasn't looking for it. I knew exactly where it was. Just when I came back, think about it, it's been 699,000 degrees outside. So if you was out there all day at the family reunion, when you came home, you didn't want to do nothing but sit it down.
Yeah, well, look, if y'all was out there, that's right, y'all did have your family reunion, yeah. Y'all,
look, out to the Curvey clan, the Curvey Overshans, and I'm missing one. But the Curvey, we had our Curvey reunion. Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful. We used to have a family reunion years and years ago with like you would see people from miles and miles coming out, and we would have it in Crockett, Texas. So that's where they're from, Crockett and Huntsville. And so it kind of fell off for several years. And one of my cousins, Kaneem Curvey, he took a stab at it last year, and he did it in Georgia. And several people, Air Force boycotted, or I don't want to come. Y'all need to have it in Houston. Why would you take it from Houston? When it's like, well, y'all could have done. It's been sitting dormant for years, but he took it and he said, you know what? Whoever come, they come. And he did it, and he went through with it last year. I think it was about 20 of us last year in Georgia. Got on a plane, went down there, and we had a great time with a few of us, right? And so this year he decided, okay, let's go ahead and do it in Houston, see what happens. And it actually was a great, great, great turnout. Now, I must tell you and be out loud, so I hope some of them cousins that didn't show up here, them ones that had said they didn't go last year because it was way in Georgia, and they wouldn't want to Georgia because it should be here and blah, 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 blah. I still didn't see y'all, and it was in Houston. I didn't see some of y'all, and y'all know, who
well,
you are.
That's
the rest of it was, I don't want to dwell on that part. I just want to throw that out there and say, but for everybody else that came, thank y'all. We had an amazing time. The food, there was no penny pinching on the food. There was no penny pinching on the drink. Like, we had a very good time.
Right.
Young, seasoned saints, middle saints, all of us had a great time. So thank you, y'all. To the committee, Kaneem, Tanisha, my sister, who else? Two of my cousins, I can't call it, Riley, and oh my gosh, I don't know her name, but I talk to her all the time. So it's with a C. But anyway, she so mad I can't do her name. But anyway, so to the full committee, I just thank y'all. Y'all did a great job. I dipped in and out on the committee, but for the most part, it was amazing. So yeah, shout out to the Curveys.
Well, congratulations on the family reunion.
Thank you.
That's not what you said was not really a shocking thing. You know, a lot of times with a lot of one, I will say to anybody that's on a planning committee or that gets together or has the idea of that undertaking, it's work. It's really work. It's really work. You know, a lot of people, as you say, man, with them reunions, you have it. The crazy part that I have seen, and I have seen, you know, some things with reunions. The folks that's right there are the last one to come. I don't care if it's a family reunion, class reunion, whatever it may be. The ones that's in that very town will complain the most and won't even show up. And that's that. I've seen it
As I mentioned, I'm not going to. Oh yeah, it happens in everything. But I promise I was not going. I was going to throw it out there, but I wasn't going to say much about it because I don't want to overshadow those people and give them people too much shine and focus on the people that did come.
No, but I'm just saying, I've been.
Some people said they weren't coming because of where.
Yeah, I just know it personally how it is that I have been a part where you have. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But you know, I tip my hat. Hey, Miss Julie, I tip my hat to the ones that work and put in the work because again, it's work. It's work, Lordy, it's work. Miss Julie, you like my hat, Miss Julie? Miss Julie, Miss Julie, Miss Julie, you like my who could it be? What's his name? I don't even know. My Inspector Colombo. I could be Colombo. You think I could be Colombo? Miss Julie, you think I could be?
I'm only 12 reels away from earning my next achievement. I need to get on it, don't I?
Yeah.
What's my next achievement gonna be?
Who told you that?
Do I get something free?
No. Who? You don't get nothing free on social media. Nothing.
TikTok told me that. They said.
Oh, TikTok told you that?
TikTok said you're only 12 reels away from earning your next achievement. Are they lying?
I don't even know what the next achievement is. I have no idea.
You done got all the achievements because you got.
Well, thank you, TikTok.
I see you. I'm excited to see you back out doing your videos. I saw yesterday or day before. I'm happy to see that again.
Yeah.
And Miss Julie does love women. Yes, she loves your hat.
Well, thank you.
I really like that hat on you. I really do.
Yeah.
I love a fedora. Look, you got an ace deuce to the side.
That's right. That's right. So
let's get to our topic because we're not gonna be on here till 12 o'clock.
No, this is not even take long.
Because guess what? I have somebody ready to pay for their cruise tonight. So I definitely got to get it together.
Are y'all
so let me just start off by saying this. I have always had a huge I'm gonna just say opinion and thoughts about people who make who are felons when they commit a crime, become a felon, and they can't find a place to live. They can't find a place to work. Like it's all that. Matter of fact, I did my undergrad. I always talk about my master's degree project, which was leadership styles, but my undergrad was about recidivism. Recidivism, the turnstile of getting out of jail and going back, And my thought was always in my project, I was trying to figure out what we could do to keep that turnstile from going. And my thought was always giving people a real chance, actually using that system to be, because we know the prison system is not rehabilitation, but it should be. 1, 2, when people get out of jail or prison or whatever, they should be able to come back into society with some success, with a road to success, to be successful, right? My thing is you can't get a good place to live because there's no felons. You can't get a good job, these jobs, no felons. And now I find out that it used to be, it depended on what your felony was, like if it was violent, sexual, that kind of thing. But now it's, we don't even want to know what it is. It's a felon. So it's So no, you can't live here, or no, you can't get a job here. And what does that do to people? That sends them back into that system. At you know, I'm not saying everybody, but that was my point of my project. It sends them back into the system, because what do? If you're trying to stay off drugs and quit messing around, quit being around the same people. If society says that you can't live here because you made a mistake in your life, they only will let you go back into the same environment, which we all know that's on purpose, right? Mm-hmm. They put you back, they sit you dead smack in the middle of that same environment. And for an example, I'll mention real quick, my sister, one of her best friends, she could not, her name was Erica. Erica could not, fun girl, could not get off drugs. So of course, when you go to jail, well, let me not say that, because I just found out, I guess I'm a little naive. There are drugs in jail, I hear. But
oh yeah.
Do it. So, but when she got out, she was drug free. But she could not get an apartment to move out of that environment she was in. So she was placed right back in that. And again, I'm not excusing that. There's a way to find other things to do, but I'm just talking in general. Maybe the worst, I don't even say the worst case scenario, but just in general, she couldn't find a place. She couldn't find a job. So where did she have to go? Back to where she could afford to live, on the job that she could get. And the sad thing about it is she did get back on drugs, and she overdosed and died. So this is what I want to talk about today, because thinking about all that, you can be the president of the United States, or running for the president of the United States, and you can get housed in the White House. And your job could be the president of the United States. You can literally, they have literally said, because of course, you can run the country from prison. Is that not crazy as hell?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get the overview. I do. I get the thing.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe, which part don't I believe? That
you sound like you don't believe that he's gonna, if he wins, that he can still be president. And if he goes to jail, you don't think they're gonna still let him?
He ain't going to jail. I mean,
well, I mean, whatever, but we gotta, whether he goes to actual prison or be house arrest or whatever he gets, he's still gonna be able to run our country. So I know everybody's saying that he won't go to prison. My only thing about that is true, but I'm not going to claim it. I'm not going to accept it. But let's just say, because I mean, he did run the judge hot a few times. It's very disrespectful to the judge. So anyway, go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts.
I mean, it I really don't have anything on it. I agree with you. I think that but here's the thing, and how I look at it. What we see didn't just happen. The system hasn't just become broken. Okay, everything is just, now the image is just mirrored. I mean, now we see these things. It's just a mirror image of what's been going on. I mean, nothing's new. Nothing is new. Mm-hmm. And nobody has done anything. And when I say that, is that there has been a pipeline from the school to the prison for years. There has been a pipeline. Nobody has done anything to. The prison system is run by people who are making money. And of course, the system is set very, very simply, in my country opinion. It's set as a revolving door, because that's where the money's made.
Right.
So yeah. How do you think this country is run on that? This country is run on the backs of people who can't make it. What do you mean? This country is run on the backs of people who are struggling, people who are trying to get aid. this country is run on the backs of those people, because that's how this crazy system works. And nobody's willing to take the moment to say, hold up, wait a minute, this thing has been going on. I don't know about Mr. Donald. I don't really, that Mr. Donald is doing exactly what any of us would do if we were in that position. I mean, people be like, "Oh no, if 99% of the people had the power and the influence that he had, they'd be doing the same."
That's the whole point of the conversation, though, country boy. That's the whole point of us having this conversation, is that we don't have what he has. And that's the point. A regular Joe Schmo can't get a job. I ain't talking about people with all this money, whatever. We're explaining the difference in the classes, to be honest with you. Like,
I get you.
So, I feel like, why think about him in that way? Because that's the point of the conversation. If we were Donald Trump, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
And what do you, and I get, mine is, I get the question, but what is the solution? What is the solution? Everybody sees it. So what would the solution be? Everybody's got an opinion about the upside of it, but what's been going on? What is the solution? Who's gonna stand up and say something? Nobody.
Right. Well, people do talk. People do have said something. This new lady.
Obviously, that thing that I said the other day, obviously it's just been their voice, because it's been their vocal voice, because it hadn't been their action voice. Because if it hadn't been their action voice, things would have changed.
Well, I don't know how many people did this before. We're talking about modern 2024, which we have this new woman, Representative Crockett, who is now speaking out. So we can't talk about 1937. And they was talking back then. We ain't even talking about 1970 and 1980. We're talking about 2024. So now people are speaking out. Yes, I want to talk about conversations about the difference. But yeah, people talk, but you got to keep talking. The people that we could not vote, people talked, but it took a long time. And then there was finally something that happened. So, but we all got to speak up. We all got to talk. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, because they have money, they get it." Oh, this is how it's always been. Can't say. And I hate jobs that people say, "Oh, this is how it's always been." I can't say it.
I don't think that's how it's always been. I'm just saying that mine is that who's going to the voice. It's not, when I say the voice, I'm not talking about the people out here. If you're out here with your picket signs, you're out here walking up and down, and you're out here doing this. I'm talking about the ones. What do you talk about? Are you going to the polls and you saying, "Okay, these are the people I'm not going"? That's your voice.
And that is what we're here to discuss. I don't want to put anybody down. Yes, I want to empower and encourage, versus putting those down who don't want to talk, who may not want to talk. But we do have to talk about that there are some people now speaking out. People are talking. And then let me back up a little bit. When you pose that question about what we're going to do about it, there have been things done. It's just not complete, and we got to keep doing it. We got to keep having conversations like this. But think about Jarvis Johnson for one. Jarvis Johnson has done so many things and brought some things so far as people with felons. So there are people out here that's not just talking, running their mouth, holding picket signs. They're actually doing something. But yes, it's going to take even more of us to do that. It's going to take more of us to want to speak out, more of us to fight the fight. What's your boy that oh my gosh, I can't call his name, that says good trouble. I can't quote the quote. We gotta not be afraid. So I agree with you on that part, but you gotta speak. And what I was saying to that is that people are. I mean, look at again Miss Crockett, who had to speak up about a month ago on that Marjorie Taylor Greene black yellow person that said, what did she talked about her eyelashes, being long. She had to tell the representative that this is not right. This is out of order. Everybody else was like silence. There were two people, women of color, mind you, that jumped up and said, hey, this is not right. What are you going to make a ruling on this? So I hear what you're saying. I just want to make sure that we know that we are stepping a little bit more. I don't really know what the solution is. I guess yes, we should talk about it.
Yeah, I mean that's always, for me, is that there are many issues in this world, in this country, and in our lives. But as many issues as there are, what are the solutions? Because if we just keep coming up with issues and then because a lot of things, this again is when you talk about, what the topic is about, how can this happen? But you have felons who can't it didn't just happen this week, this year, this century, where these things were put in place that a felon couldn't do this, and this. Why is it now so magnet? Is the spotlight on it? The spotlight's on it because you're going like, oh, well, this. Why shouldn't it have been an issue, or somebody should have been speaking when it was Pookie who had changed his life? That's what I'm saying. I understand that it happens now. I'm saying, but there was never, ever nobody. When did the solution start? Did it start when this became an issue? Did it start 20 years ago when it was placed? Somebody placed it. Somebody at some point said, hey, here are the terms of this. And the people that said, here are the terms for this, didn't just magically get in position to be able to say it. The people that put them in position to be able to say it didn't see an issue with it, or didn't. That's the thing I'm saying. I'm saying it was us, each and every one of us. What we see, where we are right now today, each and every one of us has to take some responsibility for it. And once we all take responsibility for it, like this thing ain't right. Once you take responsibility for it, then what's the action to solve it? What is the solution?
What would you think? What would you think would be the first thing to get to a solution if you were in that position to do so?
I would say we have to go about reviewing whatever the laws are. You can change. Here's the thing. If you can change, and this is something I just heard, I don't really know. If you can lower marijuana to a different category, okay? If you as a country, and okay, well, hey, you know what? I think that we can change how, it's no longer a category 3 substance. It's now a category 1. If you can change marijuana from a category 3 to a category 1, you mean you can't look at a felony or a sentence and go like, you know what? Hey, now this is the merit, or this is how the criteria of how this thing is judged. It's this. It's no longer this, but now it's this. I'm just saying, we let slide what we want to let slide. Because the folks out there smoking weed ain't tripping no more. They're like, oh, good. They done lowered it down. So at the same time, if you in Louisiana can say now an 18-year-old can carry a gun without being registered, these are the people we put in office. Again, when we gonna take accountability, these laws and these things didn't just happen. We put the people in place to allow it to happen. Accountability. Accountability.
Well, the thing about it is, this hasn't. I think there should be change, but somebody has to stand up and, just like you said, and kind of like, again, I don't want to take anything from Miss Crockett because she is my new hero. So her, and I can think of the other lady's name. I'm gonna ask somebody what her name is. They would be the type, you guys who are young out there, you're I don't want to keep using that millennial term, but young people, coming up and doing it because they speak out more. They have more courage than, in my opinion, than we do. They're gonna be the ones, y'all are gonna be the ones that can come on and get the vote happening. I think I heard that some young people aren't gonna vote for whatever the reasons were that I heard. But it's gonna take y'all. It's gonna take the young people to come out and vote. It's gonna take the young people to come out and speak up because you got
mm-hmm. I guess I get frustrated, my frustration, and I don't know anything about politics. I'm backwoods politics. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. People sitting up caring, and you should care, about the Donalds, about the lady that you're talking about the other lady, whatever they said in Congress or Senate or wherever they are, okay? And I get that. I get you these little news blurts about this thing. But understand this, it starts at your town hall. It starts at your city hall. That's where it starts.
Yeah, but I was kind of making the point of that these two ladies I'm speaking of are young. And yes, we do have to start at local because someone that I was kind of supporting, they just lost a race that was local. And it's because they won they ran into a runoff with someone. And so also reminding people of when there's a runoff and your person gets into the runoff, I mean, you vote for this person, they get into a runoff, you got to go back and vote for them again. And that really hurt him. That hurt us in that particular race because people didn't go back out. I mean, you can't just be like, okay, well, let me go. Y'all, we got to go. You go, you get your person there, and then your person gets into a runoff with somebody. You can't just stay at home now. You still got more work to do. You still got to
I'd change that too. They wouldn't put me in no position. It wouldn't be no runoff. It'll be a race. Okay, here go the race. Ain't no we gonna see who came in first, second, third, and then first and second. If you can't look here, it's gonna be very simple.
Well, we can't talk about it. We can't confuse people, country boy, because they
no. I'm just saying.
Understand. But when you say that, it takes away the go ahead. Go ahead.
You said what country boy do? Give me some power. I'll tell you what I do. Plain and simple. If you got 3 people running, them the 3 places you come in. 3rd place, 2nd place, ain't no tie between no 1st and 2nd.
Well, a tie is a tie is a tie. I mean, if it's 10 and 10 people, you gotta break the tie.
If it's 10 and 10?
Yeah.
If it's 10, it's gonna have to be 10 and 10. It's gonna have to be 10 and 10. Because if it's 11 and 10, Mr. 11 just won and it's over with and it's done. That's how we're gonna do it.
Let me give y'all this disclaimer. What he's talking about is his own views. Understand, because I want y'all to understand how this works. It doesn't work that way, y'all. You got to go back and vote for people because
that's why people don't go back.
If you don't go back and vote, but I understand that they don't go back, but they got to. So that's what the information I want to give. I want to give the real information that if you vote for somebody, they go into a runoff, you got to go back because if you don't, you lose. You got to go back. And I understand it makes no sense sometimes, just like I don't believe algebra makes sense. You know, when you have to divide an algebra problem, you gotta go, you gotta flip it, then you gotta multiply it. Why we just didn't multiply it in the first place? But that's just how it goes.
Well, see what you just said? That's what we changed. Remember you told me that's just how it goes. That's it. That's what you changed. That's just how it is. These are things that I say that we say we have no control over. If somebody is supposed to be representing me, they're representing me. So that representation means, hold up, I need for you to think and do these things. I should be able to say, look, how did the weed law get changed? How did the gun laws get changed? How do these things get changed? It's because there are people that are pushing them, and it ain't the yous and eyes that are out here. And that's just my opinion. It ain't the yous and eyes that are out here every day. And what you're talking about, I guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet my new hat right here. It ain't the yous and eyes that are out here pushing these people and causing them to vote to change it. It ain't the people. It ain't the people in the local neighborhoods that's causing these people to change. Do you think that it was the towns and the people in the towns that says, okay, Louisiana, now you can have 18-year-olds carrying guns without having anything? Do you think that that was the people that put the people in office?
So do we just give up because
I can't. No, I'm just saying I can't say it was
no.
them. I'm saying is if we want change, we have to be the change we want. We have to hold the people that's supposed to represent us accountable.
But they can't represent us if they go into a runoff and we don't go back and vote for them again. So that's
if they don't look,
just saying.
And if they don't represent, that's what you need to do. Run them off.
Yeah, but this person, okay, so that don't go with what I'm saying. Because this person does represent very well, and he actually is one of the people that help felons get jobs. He does a great deal of work. He has done that. He has fed people. He is out in the trenches with us. Whether you feel like that's a politician or public servant thing, this particular person is not that. He was raised, his mom is a beautiful soul who has raised him to be this person. And they go into the community. They care. They're out doing bringing blankets to people. Like they do things behind the camera that you don't see in front of the camera. They are the real deal. So yes, they do represent me, and they represent some good people. And yes, I believe that if people they got into this, there was a small, I guess, whatever made the runoff, and they lost because the bottom line is we didn't go back and vote again. And no, it's not right. No, it's crazy. But right now, because I won't say that's how it's always been, I'll say right now, until we can make a change, that is just, it is what it is. You got to go out and do what you got to do. You can't just give up because whatever. You got to go out. Just like I'm telling y'all, I'm going to go rent me a bus. Matter of fact, contact my friend. I have a friend that she has a party bus. Her and her daughter have a party bus. But I need to reach out to the party bus people and say, look, y'all need to take all your party buses, get all the people that's going to the party that want to have a party bus ride, put them on the party bus. Before y'all go to the party, take them down here to these poles during early voting season. Y'all, I know y'all out here for the party, but we gonna stop by the poles before we go to the party. And I want everybody to orderly get off the bus and go on in there. Bring it. You had to have your ideas to get on here because it's a party bus. Go on up in there and vote and come on back out. Now, I was thinking this morning when I said it, I was thinking, yeah, but who y'all voting for? Because I always say it's some undercover folks that some of these people that be winning, you be like, now you was acting like you was this side, but you was really over there on that other side. It's some of them, but I look at them side eye. That they doing it.
I mean, and I just think that, and I think it's wonderful that no matter who, that people do exercise their right.
Oh yeah, whatever their decision.
I think that what has happened, honestly, is a lot of it has been ruined by the politicians, by the thing, by not standing on what you said, not standing on the platform you ran on, and the people not seeing change. The people not, and again, here's the thing. I firmly believe that doesn't start up high. If you want to see a change in your neighborhood, you have to start right there. You got to start with your, with all of that, with your town hall. That's where it starts. And if you want to see a change, that's where you initiate your real voice, your actions. And those are the people you run up the flagpole. But if you don't, I think a lot of people have became so tired of what I'm saying is they're tired of seeing the BS because they don't see any benefit. And that's because they're not. And I don't know how anybody does anything. Let me tell you something. I don't know if people vote this and that, and I'm gonna just, I know my mom and them, boy, they go in there. I'm just voting straight this. Let me tell you something. It's crooks on both sides. I call them all crooks. That's country me. But what you have to do is see what's best for your interest. I don't care what side of it is on. What is best for your interest? The people that are actually what you talked about, whomever you were talking about, that you know, whomever came out for the other person, they came out because they were going like, you know what, this person's best for my interest.
Do you really think that?
Oh yeah, that's the only reason they
No,
went.
that's because that means you missed what I said.
What?
This person didn't win because of that. This person won because people didn't come back. That's how they won. People didn't come out and just vote for her. People that should have voted didn't come out. It wasn't no, that is not true. People, I don't believe it. Let me just say that.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. I know they crooks across the board. That's what I call it.
I think it's crooks across the board. I'm not gonna, but and I just try not to think about me. And I guess because I know these people personally, and I know what
No,
they've
but
done.
what I'm saying when I say that,
most people know what they've done. So
I'm not saying that
they
they
didn't go
didn't
out
do
and
anything.
say we're
I'm
not gonna
saying
vote for him. People didn't go back
no.
out and
I'm
vote.
saying
Period.
that the person that
Uh-huh.
that won is because those people,
Right.
whomever, I don't care if it was 30. I don't care if it was
Feel
the
like
vote was
go.
30 to 1. It was, I don't care if it was 29 to 30. 30 people came out. Those people,
Right.
whomever it
I
was,
get it.
came out and
I get what you're
said,
saying.
this person is best for my interest, not this party, this person. And that's what people should do is I don't care who it is.
Well, y'all just make sure when people pay y'all and take y'all to the store and buy y'all food, take you to the restaurant and buy y'all food, that don't mean they the best for you. Just know it's a trick. But that other person didn't have to do that. That other person has done it. And they didn't buy no food for you. They went out and got donations. They worked hard. They were out there during the storm, helping dig ditches and trenches. That other person, all she did was take y'all to eat, put a couple of dollars in her pocket. But now, let's see what happens. Just like, I'm not going to say, I don't mind speaking out, you know that. But I will say, I'm disappointed in, well, you know what, I'm not gonna say that for another day. But let's just be careful. Because they're just like you said, they're crooks. I think I'm not gonna call them all of them crooks, but I will say that there are some people that got a little trickery
I call
going.
it crook.
I know you will. There's a little
That's
trickery
crook.
going on. See, I see crook as a bigger thing from me. Because I'm not a crook, and I'm sure I try to influence people to come on my side about stuff. But I don't think I'm a crook.
Well, I mean, I think that it's again.
Crook is a strong word to say all politicians are crooks. That's kind of strong to me. I know you believe that, but I do believe there are people who seriously care about us.
Until they actually prove me wrong, until I see, and I'm not saying all, but what I see is they are going for what's best for them. When we get rid of we have allowed other people to speak for us. When I say speak for us, you know what?
And that's why I like what you say. You need to go to the local vote, because if they speak for us, that means we voted for them.
Right, but I'm gonna go higher. I'm coming back down to the local, but up higher. What is a lobbyist? What, you can't even get to the politician in Washington. You got to go through the lobbyist. I wish I would go through a lobby. Let me tell you something. If you using my dollar to get up to Washington, buddy, and that's but that's on us. On us is to hold these people's feet to the fire. We have become disheartened. Because you don't see anything. Again, that goes to the local. Get to your local. Get to your what do you call them? You're not congressman. What you call them people here? Your council person. Let me tell y'all something. Here's me again. That's me. Driving through a neighborhood, if you hitting a million potholes, and your council person. That's your council person, because the funds come down, it sprinkles down, and they're the ones that can get in there and ask for these funds for these different things. This, they want to talk about fixing the interior and fixing. That's your council person. If your roads is jacked up, it ain't Trump and it ain't, what's the other guy that's in Washington right now? It ain't them.
Well, do we have to talk about Trump today? He ain't in there right now. I'm just
Just
joking.
saying.
I'm messing with you. President Biden is in there, but he can't do nothing about our local streets and bumps and bruises.
At all. At all. It's not them. But we don't go down to the councilman. I came from a little town. And when I came from this little town, it was very, very rare that anybody was at the town hall meeting or the council. Very rare. Not until something just blows up, until like HID say, oh, we gonna close 1 million schools. Oh, y'all show up.
Well, I when you spoke of little towns, I thought about Flint, the young lady Liberty that we talked to. I mean, those people seem to really care about their city.
And when we spoke to her, where was she at?
At the council.
And how many people were coming out of there? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. You have to be present, not in your voice, not down at the local barbershop talking about, oh, these roads, while you're taking your car to the place to get it fixed because the hole to knock the front end off. No. Because the barber man, he ain't going down there neither. He just dodging the potholes as well.
Look, can y'all all please get together, take your friends before y'all head off to happy hour. I'm telling you, country boy, I'm gonna call the people that own these 40 buses and say we need to get together. I already asked Chicago Born Real, can I come with my table to register people vote? But the funny thing about it is, even if you register people to vote, they got to get to the polls. And it's like there's so many places that they feel is much more important to get to than going to vote. It's like sometimes it kills me when people seem like it's a burden to go do it. And the thing about it is, you got the whole. I always recommend everybody go to early vote, because you never know what's going to happen on election day. Go ahead.
But you know what? If y'all want to see some action, I hear about election day. But them folks that's in office, if y'all want to hear some action, take the country boys' advice. Let me tell y'all what you can do. Right now, the folks that's in office right now, your local person that's in office, if you want some action, get their phone number. They got to give it to you. Blow it up. Get their email. Blow it up. I guarantee you, y'all, if you ain't never seen them, you don't know who they are. If about 1,000 in the neighborhood, call them. Trust.
But you need to go vote. After you call, you still got to go vote. Because at the end of the day, you got to vote. You got to vote.
Send them an email, tell them you're finna vote them out. You get anything you want.
Well, okay, yeah, cool. As long as you still go vote. You got to put that on the end of every one of them sentences you coming out with. But let's check out some of our comments here. Miss Julie, hey, Miss Julie, thank you so much for watching as always. She's watching. Hello, guys. Mr. Lewis, she loves your hat, and just keep being yourself. Hey, Lloyd Hughes, thank you for stopping by today. Yes, crooks are on both sides of the aisle. And Miss Julie says she votes for whoever is good for me. I love that, because also I used to be one of those people that voted, what do you call it, straight ticket, but you can't do that anymore. Can't really do that anymore. They have where you can't do that. You got 999 things to vote for. Not you. Oh, let me say this, then I'm gonna give you another thought. Not you and not all politicians, those who make separate side deals that aren't in the best interest of their constituents. That is happening right now, I must say, with the what's going on with the school districts. And it'll be general, because that things are happening behind the scenes for some of the things that are going on with that. You can definitely tell. I think those are the ones that I feel helpless about sometimes, because even the governor, let's just say, the governor, I worked the polls sometimes. And so that year that we were voting for the governor, I actually, for the first time, I was late. So I ended up at a Republican polling center, and it was the most oh gosh, it was eye opening. And it was crazy because first of all, I'm looking at everybody out the side eye when they come up there and say, I want to make sure that I'm here to vote Republican. I want to make sure that I'm voting for the. And I won't say the people that did that. I'm saying, don't you know they don't like you? But I hear your little number and go to do what you're gonna do. But it was eye opening because it was a black woman there that was working the polls that day too. She came and slithered. I'm gonna say slithered. She slithered up to me and wanted to be my friend. But she was talking to me about the different things about how black people rely on welfare. I mean, she went on. It was driving me crazy not to say anything. So finally, I said, "Well, I'm black. I've been on welfare before. I've done this and that and the other. Yeah, but you're different. You have we had a conversation earlier about what I did for a living. You have a career. You're educated. You're this, that. But what does that have to do with what you're saying? You're saying that people are right, that all black people are lazy, all black people. That's what she was saying. And I'm like, it was definitely an eye opener for me. And it bothered me, Then also it made me think about how many people would sit there in that conversation, like you talked earlier about speaking out and speaking up. How many people would sit there? Because we went back and forth for a little while about a few things. So finally I said, let me move around because she wasn't leaving. Would speak up to that woman, or who would have just said, like we talked about last week, that ain't none of my business. Whatever she thinks, that's just what she thinks. Somebody, I mean, you have to stand up.
I mean, and everybody gains their perception from something.
They do.
I don't, and what we have to do is.
But while she trying to get me to the other side, I'm gonna try to bring her back to this side.
But
Y'all be trying to brainwash me.
What we all have to do is understand that there is a narrative to the story that has been painted about all of us. Some of us, there's some people out there that work very hard to make that narrative true.
Facts.
That's the saddest part. Is some of people work very, very hard. And here go again. We have to understand that it's meant to be that way. It's set up to be that way. It's set up for so many of us to be made to look a certain kind of way. And then we live up to it and we act it out. And then let me tell you something. It's so insane that I love my news feeds that come through. My weekend, I get a weekend review. If you didn't know what happened in Houston over the weekend, why is it that social media gives me all the negative in all of the predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhoods? So are you telling me that these were the only places that the police were called? Are you telling me these were the only violent accidents, violent things that occurred just in these neighborhoods? It's set up that way. It is, we are here and we are being still being brainwashed and don't even know it. We're being spoon-fed negativity about each other. We're being spoon-fed negativity about this and that because that's the media game.
Right, but in my opinion,
we have to step up. And when I say step up, those are opportunities to teach. Those are opportunities to say, no, I'm not saying when you say, when somebody says, well, all this, well, all that, and well, no, allow me to give you a different perspective, because what you're basically saying is all that you know or all that you've heard. Well, let me tell you something different. Let me tell you from a different side. Let me tell you some different stories. we can change it if we so choose. If we choose to change the narrative, at least about ourselves, we can. So
what I was saying was that I forgot what you were saying. I was trying to put it in there in the same sentence that if people are taking media, just like we know social media is not, most people now know social media is not the news. Those little blurbs that you get, it's not all the news. I actually open it up so I can see what it's really saying, because I know they're what they call them, what they call it, to where you'll gosh, you know what I'm talking about, to where clickbait. A lot of it's clickbait, because I've opened up some and it sounded like this is what it's going to be. Like, oh my God, click it. That ain't even what it's about. So I don't just, if it's something that interests me, I will click it so I can actually read what they're talking about. I don't believe in reading and just accepting what's slide by the thing. But let's get back also on the top. Oh, let me back up. So yes, social media and those little blurbs are not the news. You got to actually read. And that's something that I want to say. I know people who vote because they say so-and-so said, or so-and-so said. Well, so-and-so told me. You got to read for yourself. Just like we were talking about, instead of doing the straight ticket, which we can't do anymore anyway. And I'm gonna lie, I go in there sometimes, be confused. I don't know what, because I'll be like, oh, I didn't know about this bond. So that's my fault. So we've got to make sure that we go out and read some of the stuff. Like when you go out there and all those people standing out there at the things, yes, they want their person to win, but take some of that literature. You know, you can take a piece of paper into the voting booth with you, so you can remember who and what you want to vote for. You can do that. So keep that in mind. But back to the felonies, I really just wanted to kind of vent about it, because I think it's so, and I get what you're saying, country boy. That's how it was made. I know that's how the world was made. I know that prison was not meant to be rehabilitation, which I think sucks so bad. But you know, it's someone that I know is near and dear, that, and yes, I think everybody should be made accountable. Let me say that too. Any crime you do, anything that you do, you should be made accountable for it. But I do think we need to somewhere go into creating, because on The View they mentioned that, I'm sorry, that some of the laws, you know, with the president being able to go to jail and still run, right? It's because this never happened before. So we got to remember that. It's not just because nobody didn't go and change the law. Why would anybody even think about going to change the law? Because it's never happened before. Who would think that the president was going to go out and commit a whole bunch of crimes? I mean, what's your boy name back in the day? Nixon? Whatever the crimes he did. But that's the only time. But this man got, which is also saddens me, that he could do so many crimes and everybody's already saying he's not going to jail. That saddens me to know that it goes back to what you're saying, the corruption or the, you know, even unfairness or whatever. But he got 32 and ain't one of them he ain't going to jail on. No.
I you know my opinion.
32.
It's all in country terms, it's all BS anyway. Okay. It's all of it. One, I ain't defending, I don't know, but it is mighty peculiar. I'm gonna just say what I say. It's mighty peculiar. The thing is, no different than any of the people that we had, that the other show that we did ain't no different. So why all of a sudden do you think that this man, the people, the same people that are this, that, and so him now, they knew him way before, okay? They knew his character, they knew this man, they knew his demeanor, they knew his reputation long before he stepped foot inside of a house that they call white. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm missing something.
I'm just saying that there's nothing new about this guy. So
lots of people thought this was a great guy. The words are just not.
There is nothing. The stuff that you're talking about, there's nothing new about this guy. The stuff that they say that he did this and fell in, There's
We
nothing
just
new.
did that January 6th, but you're talking about just in general.
In general, nothing new. He has
So
been good.
you always knew he was a bad guy?
He been a crook. He been a crook from the beginning. And if I know, they know. But here's the thing, my opinion, just mine. He was led to a place because they thought that they could get something out of him, and they could use him no differently than anybody else.
And they got him there and it's working.
What this fella did, what this fella turned into was a straight wild cannon, and it was like, we can't. He turned it to a cannon. He turned into what he already was. But just like most people who they paved the way to get where they are, they do it by thinking that they can control you. They do it by, and what happened was he turned uncontrollable.
I agree with that.
He turned straight uncontrollable. He said, okay, I'm here. I'm doing in the White House what I was doing in Mar-a-Lago. I'm gonna do in the White House what I was doing in the towers anyway. Ain't no different. So you knew what you was getting when you got it. Now you've allowed him to gain this thing. And I'm gonna tell you, you and I talked about it. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you talk about blindness. You talk about, don't y'all be sit up here and take it from the old country boy. Don't sit up here and get okie doke and think that everybody that's talking about this man ain't following this man or ain't with him and hoping he gets there. Don't sit up here and think that all these that's coming out publicly like this, that, and the other ain't secretly behind the scenes pushing him to get there.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just letting y'all know. Don't be fooled. Let me tell you something. Some of the strongest critics, take it from me right here, right now. Some of his strongest public critics are his greatest supporters behind the scene.
I agree with that.
Biggest supporters he got.
As we kind of said at the beginning of the show, it's funny things. You can get people to the polls, but you don't know what the hell they doing once they get behind in front of that little thing where you can't nobody see.
Yeah. So
you're right, Ms. Julie. I agree that the Supreme Court, well, I agree with Country Boy on the Supreme Court part, where we say that we knew what was going to happen with that. We knew that he was packing the court on purpose to get his agenda passed.
Supreme Court, y'all, again, I don't know politics. And he didn't even pack the Supreme Court. He done packed all the courts. Y'all worried about the Supreme Court. See, again, let me just throw this now here. Again, y'all worried about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court only gets the stuff by appeal and it has to go up the ladder. Okay, here it is like here. Everything about the system goes up the ladder. By the time it makes it to the Supreme Court, Lord, it could be forever. He controls the whole court. He has place in the lower courts. Do you know how many? I don't pay attention to that. Do y'all not know how many judges have been appointed? Do y'all not know how many judges have been appointed? I'm talking about the ones who make the rulings, okay? Y'all ain't finna get to the Supreme Court to make no ruling on your case. The lower courts, you worried about this? The Supreme Court, them old geezers up there ain't finna do nothing but go to sleep and make that money. The lower courts.
It says as of April the 10th, 2024, of the 680 district court judges, 366 were appointed by Democratic presidents compared to 274 by Republican. That's not what I thought that was. Never mind. Go ahead.
But the number of judges that he appointed during his time. The number of judges. And I don't even know politics. But I show no okie doke. Y'all think that this was what they be saying in the country? While y'all been sitting around here playing checkers, it's been a chess move the whole time. It has been a chess game. Straight chess game the whole while. That's what's been going on. That's why you think man. That's why these laws are moving and shaking and these things are happening. Chess. Nothing is happening today that wasn't set in place a while back. This was set up. Niggas set up more, I tell you. That's just my opinion.
Well, I don't know. Back to my original topic. We went way deeper into politics than I was trying to go to. I was really just going into it's just so like just having the conversation about I wasn't really going into yes, we do have to come up with solutions, but the solution we know what that is. Voting people in and out. And I don't want people to get discouraged from our conversation about voting. I want y'all still to know it is worth voting. Your vote does mean something, contrary to what anybody will tell you. Your vote matters. Your vote counts. You got to go vote. You got to go vote, but you also, if there's a runoff, you got to go back. Who wants to? Just like the doctor want to follow up, you got to go back. You got to go back because your candidate needs you. They need you the first time, but if they get into a runoff, they definitely need you. Just saw in like I said, in the recent election, the person that I was supporting, he lost. And then Country Boy, you are absolutely right. Yes, those 30, if it was 30 people the extra, those 30 people got up and went and did what the lady needed to be. The lady that won, they need to do what she asked for. I get that. But I'm talking to my people, Black and brown people. I want y'all to go and read. This y'all homework from the little Diva. I want y'all, if you have it, because I'm sure most people should know, but I just saw something that said somebody didn't know. I don't know the whole thing. I've read some of it, but I think it's Project 2025. Project 2025. Y'all need to go peek at it. Peek at it. And I hope that will push you into going to make sure that you go vote. Your children that's 18 and up need to go vote. They need to register to vote and then go vote. Because I'll tell you something else I did see at the polls, and I've seen it every time I worked there. People thought at 18 they magically have registered to vote. They think everybody tell them at 18 you can go vote. But there are some people, believe it or not, that don't know. They think that's just an automatic right. They can go vote. They don't know they have to register. So there were people that got there which is another thing about waiting to the day of election and not getting to the early vote because you don't have time to do anything that day. Once that day, and then plus there's a window of you to get registered. So you gotta get registered to vote in order to use your voice. Now, Country Boy also talked about people fighting and not fighting like that. Speaking out. I'm gonna flip it into a different thing to say people have spoken up, people have died, people have been beat down, people have gone through so much. And I know we hear it all the time, but it's the truth. For you to be able to go and pull that lever, no, you don't pull a lever no more, but do whatever you're doing, whatever area. I don't know what Country Boy come from. They might still be pulling the lever. But you gotta go you gotta do your duty. And yes, it's a long, I don't remember the last time how it was over 100 things you had to just do it. And then also, if you're someone who may not be as informed as you'd like to be, you just know like the top things, go through during early voting, go through the little, they're going to be out there with all their little papers and stuff. Grab one of the information thing, go back, read a little bit. If you don't read a little bit, just to get to know something. You can Google all day on your people. See, and then, if you start thinking about it now, look at what some of these people are doing in the community. Just like the person that I was mentioning, I'm going to just say Jarvis Johnson, he has done and continues to do. Because Miss Julie did mention something. She says, she sees a lot of people I see a lot of politicians do a lot of good in the neighborhood, but when they get in the White House, they don't do blank. Now, don't say that, Miss Julie, because I believe, and not just because he was our first Black president ever and has never been convicted, there was no scandal in his White House. Barack Obama cared about us, and Michelle did too. I'm sorry, they did, and they did some things. They may not did everything right, but they did some things right. So as far as this person, Jarvis Johnson, that I'm thinking about, he did a lot in the community, but he continues to do it, and he's been in office for years. This particular seat that he was running for was a seat that used to belong to a Black senator, but it was taken over by John Whitmire. This was an opportunity to get that chair back to us, and that it ended up going to someone who was not Black or brown. So, but this particular person I do know for a fact. His mom is one of my favorite people, and she's in the community at all times. And she used to work for for Mickey Leland. And so she's always been in, and she's a great woman. Actually, she was the president. I don't know if she still is the president of the Black United Fund. Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo is good people. Hold on a second. And she likes to keep people informed. Every election, I'm gonna hear from Miss Cleo to say, and which is what it is also flattering, because she thinks about my show in that way, to say, hey, you need to get somebody on, or hey, I was actually invited to Jarvis Johnson's telephone bank the last day to interview different people. So yes, they care about them and winning, but I've also seen her call me about different people that's not her son. Or she's come on herself and talked about what we're doing, and she has great knowledge. So when people tell me all the time, everybody's cricketed, everybody's not. And everybody's not. I'm that, I am. Well, I think everybody has some kind of good in them. I'm sorry that I think that, but I think there are a lot of people who do care. I do. And it is hard for me to imagine anyone running for our country, even him, that they don't care about anybody. It's still hard for me to believe it. I know it's true, but it is hard to believe, because I would hear myself say, I've heard myself say, no, they work in their community, so they have to love it. They have to love what they're doing. There's someone in my life right now that she works in the community all the time. All the time. She gets all kind of stuff done. However, she doesn't treat the people she works for right. And I'm not talking about Sheila. So I want to make sure y'all don't think I'm talking about Sheila. But I'm talking about somebody that's supposed to be in my area. So I had to learn. I'm still working on that. Not saying, you know what I'm saying, country boy, that it's still hard for me to believe that people would go out of their way to work in their community just only to get a vote, not that they really care about the people. So I will say that I am naive to certain things. But there are some people I have literally watched them do stuff before they got in office and as they're in office. But I think it's sad, and I don't know what the solution is to help us, except voting people in and out, like you mentioned, to get this straight with felons being able to be put in position to be successful after they've made a mistake. Especially when I have a big heart for those who were very young when they made mistakes, and it's the rest of their life. I don't want to say it's ruined, but there's definitely more challenges. I'll never forget that some people I know, so a young lady that I know very, very well, very close to my family, she got in trouble, felony, and she wanted to be a nurse. Yeah, she wanted to be a nurse. She was going to school. She actually was in community college to go to nursing school. And that's when she found out, when they sent off for their certificate or whatever they have to send out for, she got the thing back, since she had the felony on her record, she could not be a nurse. And she had worked very hard to get to the point that she was. And I remembered her saying, they should have just given me life. And I'll never forget. And I actually talk about this every so often, because it makes, I can hear why the person would say this. I can't go do what I love to do because of a mistake I made 20 years ago. And I'm better, trying to do something better with my life. And they say, no, because you made a mistake. But on the other end of the aisle, because someone like you said have a lot of money, have a lot of, unfortunately, I don't know how they still got all this power, but got all this power, he can be the president of the United States with a felony and 35, I guess 35, 34, 32, 30 something counts. Is that not insane? But you can't go get you a nice apartment or a nice house. You can't go get certain jobs. You can't become a nurse because you have a felony. When is that going to be fixed? And yes, somebody has to start speaking out more about it. But we also, as Country Boy mentioned, got to get to the local elections. We've got to quit taking those for granted. Yes, the president is definitely a big one to vote for. However, like he says, it starts here on the bottom ground, on the ground floor. It can't get to the next step and the next step and the next step if it don't pass here. So we gotta get out and do our part. It is annoying as hell to stand in that line to vote. But I always say,
look, I'm gonna have to cut you because it's storming over here.
What happened?
It's storming over here.
It's storming over here too.
Like it's look.
It's storming. It's not bad right now, but what time is it? Oh, it is 9:22. I'm sorry. So yeah, Country Boy made me forget my thought, but it's so important, and I will be honest with you. On Chat with Trina, you will definitely hear more from probably from here out all the way to November what we got to do. If y'all need a ride to the vote for the vote, now I don't know you, so I gotta have security. But y'all let me know if you need. If I could go out and get the party bus people to come out and take people to the polls, that is something. And I'm saying that in a joking way, but that really is an idea that I'm thinking about. All these people making this money off the party bus. Country Boy, don't you think they should be able to put some people on the bus that don't have a way to the polls? I think that would be their way of giving back to their community. Or, you know, like I said, y'all could be on y'all way to the party on the party bus and just make that little detour. Everybody get off the bus right now and go in there and vote and come on back. I'll take y'all where y'all supposed to go. Kidnap. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. But guys, I do want y'all to think about that. It's really hard because some things happened over the last few days that I know some very, very close that is having a problem getting an apartment in a decent area that's not crime infested and looks a mess because they had a felony. And it's not even a violent felony. It is not a sexual felony. And they can't get a decent, they're not worthy enough, according to the world, to get a decent place to live. And I really want to call the realtor people and say, are you voting Republican? Are you voting Donald Trump? Because you know you have a felony, right? I'm just asking. So you shouldn't vote for him. If you don't like people that have felonies, you should probably not vote for Donald Trump. Okay, I'm gonna get off. But let me go ahead and remind y'all. I want to, if Country Boy, he says storming out there, but I want to think about Sheila Jackson Lee. Tomorrow they are having a prayer vigil at I don't know place yet, but I will post it. They are having a prayer thing for her to pray for her health and wellness as she's going through her cancer treatments. Now it has become to that point to where she's having to step back a little bit. So I want to make sure that everybody remembers her tomorrow if you can. If you cannot make it to her, I was trying to see if I can find the flyer. If you cannot make it out to her, because it looks like it might be storming. If you can't make it out to her vigil, still pray for her at home or wherever you may be. Yeah, I can't find it. Wherever you may be, pray for her family. I'm sure this is scary for her. I've never known. As far as I feel, she's one of the strongest people that I know. Like when I say strong, I'm meaning she's fighting people in Congress. People respect her. Like she do not play with people. And so she's got to be able to get through this. That's 1, 2. Next Monday night, we're going to have Mr. Clarence Riley, the hip hop saxophonist. We're going to have him on our show because I'll just say he has a huge testimony, an amazing testimony that he has is willing to share with us and our viewers. I'm very excited to have. He's always been a very nice guy, really amazing musician. But we're gonna have him on the Real Conversation next Monday. And I do want to say, when I reached out to him, Country Boy, I talk sometimes how long it takes people to get back to us sometime, or do they? He immediately said, "Oh my God, yes, I would love to share my story. Where do I sign up?" That basically is what he said. That I love, because one, he knows his story is a testimony, and he knows that he didn't have to be here to this day playing music like he loves. Lastly, we had a friend of the family's whose daughter drowned in Galveston on a Friday, 20 years old. So I want us to remember her in prayer. Yeah, because and she didn't jump into the water. She slid off. They believe she slid off one of the rocks, and the current carried her away. So 20 years old, very, very young. And so it's her mother's only, she was her mother's only child as well. And last but not least, please take the opportunity to read. Please take the opportunity to read, start, and I'm going to do the same, because I'm not well versed on a lot of the stuff with politics either, but I'm going to make a commitment to read up on some things, because I'm asking you to do it. But please, please plan for our voting, be prepared for voting, and let's get out and do our due diligence so we can get it done. And I believe for me, that's it. That's all.
That's
Come
it.
on,
That's
Cookie
all.
Boy.
That's it. That's all. I ain't got nothing more to say other than it's storming here.
Do that
Like,
scare you? That
it's
scare you?
straight, you know, huh?
Did that scare you?
I don't know. I don't get scared now.
So I say you keep talking about the storm like we didn't have this just 2 weeks ago.
I'm just trying to keep from coming through the window.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That don't scare me. Look here, that's, thank y'all for tuning in. I thank you. Thank you for the topic. Yeah, we all go through. We all have issues. We all have things. But we just have to be more aware. We have to take the opportunity. If we want to be the change, we want to see a change, be the change you want to see. Be the change. You want to elect people, hold them accountable. That's all I can say. Hold them accountable. You put them in.
And I agree with what you said too. I hate to cut you off again, but when Country Boy said, call those numbers, call them phone numbers, get your crew, get off there talking about P Diddly D, and take care of this business, because they distracting you with that while we got stuff going on here. Call your people. Y'all get on and get the gossiping about this.
And it's factual. Let me tell y'all something. Right? Y'all think I might be great. Get your state representative, not state representative. Who's the people? What you call them? Council people. Let me tell you, you can reach out to your the council person can, if your neighborhood jacked up, if all of that, reach out to your council person. Reach out to your chamber. Let me tell y'all something. These are the people that you need to reach out to. Why you sitting up here work? Let me tell you something. If you'd reached out to your chamber, if you'd reached out to your
chamber, go to your chamber meetings.
Your chamber, your council person. Let me tell you something. If y'all would have been voicing while y'all sitting up here, I'm gonna say it again. While y'all sitting up here roofing about Trump, if y'all had such an issue with Trump, if you'd have been at your chamber meetings, if you'd have been at your city meetings, your town hall meetings, your city council meetings, guess what? Voicing your there, guess what? Them people there are gonna listen, and then they're gonna take it somewhere else, because now they scared, because guess what? They are directly representing you. That ain't how it works. Y'all better learn how the train works. Better learn how the train works. That's where you start at. If you're riding down the road and you can't drive for 2 miles an hour because your road tore up, call them. Send them emails. Call them. Send them emails. Call them. Think they won't call you back? Please.
I've seen back in the day them being back when the Acres Chamber was really, really thriving. I remember being there, and the mayor would be up speaking, and they'll see Sister So-and-so. Sister So-and-so, I got your call. because she was
Yeah.
the one who called all the time, so they knew. I got you. I see you because they know. You know what they knew? She will come over there and call them out as soon as they finish talking.
That's it. I'm telling y'all, that's how you want to see it. You want those are the people that want you. Them the ones be it. Look, let me tell you. All right, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go on close. You ain't never seen what's the president name? What's his name? Who's the guy that run the country? You ain't never seen Biden at your local church. I bet you ain't never been to your Baptist church. Whoever your Baptist church is, Biden ain't never been there. Trump ain't never been there. All them people up there ain't never been there. But I bet you your city council person was there. I bet your state representative was there. And I bet you the mayor was there. Because guess what? Them the ones knew that you had the biggest voice. Right? Just telling y'all. If they didn't come to your church, if you want it, if they can come to your church to get your vote, call them. They can send to your friends, call them. Be like, hey, this ain't working. So look here. Look up this here. Got holes in the road.
I don't know about that new one. I don't know, but I don't know if we can call that new one. That new one kind of acting funny, but you know.
You can call him too. Get enough calls in. Get enough calls in. You get enough calls in, you get action. You get enough calls in, you get action. I'm just telling y'all what to do.
Y'all hear from Country Boy. I believe that. I believe that.
They might not answer the first. Call them. Just keep on calling. Keep on calling. Keep on
you
calling.
Remember your mama used to say back in the day, when you looking for a job, you got to keep calling them saying, hey, did you give me? Keep on calling.
You keep on calling, and they will respond and they will reach out. And that's the only way, because then they know that you care. Then they know that you paying attention. Then they're afraid because you might go tell somebody else. Then you're going to tell somebody else. Then you're going to go tell somebody else. Ooh, now I ain't going to be in office. You right.
Yeah.
You right.
Because you're not doing what you're saying you're going to do. Or you're not doing meeting the needs for us, our needs. And that's what you're supposed to be there for.
And like she said, that you got to go off to the runoff. And if they ain't answering the phone and doing what you said, then run them off.
Run them off.
Run them right on off.
Run them off.
And they don't want to be run off. But for me, that's all I have. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Join me and my co-host. Minister CJ is back from he been in New York City. CJ been in New York City, but he'll be back tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, if y'all have an opportunity, we are having a special show. It's a Father's Day table talk. So it's about fatherhood. So if y'all have an opportunity, y'all come on by. Y'all check out the little Diva and y'all roll on over to the table. We'll feed you.
Little Diva don't have a guest yet, but it's gonna come.
Shy.
I need one. But at the end of the day, show this off. Something else I always say that no one prepares you for. No one prepares you. They prepare you for so many things in life, but they don't prepare you for teaching when your kids grow older and up and older, but they also don't prepare you for your parents getting older. Right. So I have a young lady that's going to be coming on the end of the month, the 26th. She's going to talk about dementia and her journey with her family with dementia and how she handled it, and maybe give us some tips on that. But and I'm gonna just put this out there. If there's anyone out there that's not shy and that has dealt with their parents growing elderly, I am looking for someone. I'm looking for some guest speakers to come on regularly to just talk about that, because I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. I think we underestimate the experience. Is that right? The experience of that. We underestimate of what that lifespan part, the part of your life when you get to that part of your parents are getting older.
Right.
It's something that I just think more of us need to talk about.
Right. Well, there it is. Well, look at here. I'll just tell you this, and I'm gonna make it short and I'm gonna make it sweet, because follow your vision, follow your purpose, follow your dream. Don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about who's supporting you, who ain't supporting you. Just walk it. Just walk it. Walk it. Follow it. God didn't give you a purpose for no reason. He gave you a purpose for a purpose. Mm-hmm. So you just walk in it and you follow it. And lastly but not leastly, when you woke up this morning and you open your eyes and you listen around and you tried to hear, You still didn't hear the words. Well, if you was out there today, I don't know what happened tonight, but if you was out there today, it was 2,700 degrees, and
It
now
was that.
now it dropped down in the storm.
It put me right on my bed. Put me right in the bed when I got home. I couldn't do nothing, but I couldn't go no further than just flopping on my bed. It was just hot.
Yes, indeed. But look here, I just want to say that we love you. We love you, and we love you unconditionally. There ain't nothing that you can do about it. We out of here. I'll go.
You can buy me a Mountain Dew.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Bye. We'll see y'all on. Remember, we have a special show on Wednesday. Tune in.
Yes.